What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 things that you need to understand to unlock massive scale and growth in your sales team, and the 4 things that make it very, very hard if you don't understand them and you don't apply them. And so to drive this home, in the beginning, as you're scaling, the business owner will at some point become the bottleneck of the sales team. And so what will happen is the business owner will bring in a sales manager or a CRO or somebody to run the sales department to relinquish the constraint and that bottleneck. And so what will happen if you are a sales manager leading a team and you do not understand these 4 things, you will just replace the business owner as the new bottleneck. You will become the next bottleneck and you will be working every hour of the day and not seeing the growth that you want in your team. And so if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you exactly how the last 2 of these 4 things apply to scaling a sales team fast. And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Adam Taylor, and over at Nomadic Closer, we run a sales growth firm where we completely hands-off, done for you, scale teams from anywhere between $100,000 to $200,000 a month to $1 million a month and beyond. And so to give you a little background, a little backstory about this, this comes from a concept that I read in a book called The Road Less Stupid by Keith J. Cunningham. Phenomenal book, can't recommend it enough. And it really highlighted a few things. The very first offer that I scaled to just under $1 million a month in 5 months, I only unconsciously knew and understood 2 of these concepts that we're going to walk you through today. From there, the first 6 months of building the done-for-you sales agency and growth firm here at Nomadic Closer, I consciously understood and knew only 2 of these 4 concepts. And so now, since unlocking and understanding the other 2, we've unlocked massive growth and unbottlenecked the business to be able to scale teams faster and scale our company faster. And so the meat and bones of this is there are a few dangerous things in business, and especially for you as a sales manager, you still are your own business. There are known knowns and there are known unknowns. And then there are the most dangerous, the unknown unknowns. And so the known knowns are essentially, I know what they are and I know what to do about them. There are then known unknowns. I might know what they are. I have no idea why they're important or what to do about them. The most dangerous of all of the unknowns. I don't even know that they exist, and I have no idea how they're affecting my business. The 4 concepts that I'm going to run you through, for me, for a very long time, were these. They then became these as I was made more aware of them, and now they've become these, and they've unbottlenecked the business and allowed us to have massive growth. And so the danger of these is that they can't be outworked. They can't be strategized or planned or delegated or systemized, because you don't even know that they exist and you don't know that they're affecting the business and you don't realize how. And so they cannot be outworked. They have to be out-knowledged. You have to find out about them and you have to understand them and you have to bring them to light to be able to tackle them. And so they need to be dragged into this quadrant up here for you to be able to unlock them and unlock massive and fast growth in your company and in your sales team. And so the 4 concepts are essentially what Keith J. Cunningham calls the 4 hats of business. And so if you're a business owner, this will hit hard. This will slap, as the cool kids say these days. And if you're a sales manager, this will also be incredibly relevant because, as you understand, you are your own business. And so the 4 hats of business are, we have the artist, we have the manager, we have the owner, and we have the board director hat. These are all the 4 hats of business that need to be worn at different times. Now, when I first started out, the very first team that I ran, I came in and understood that there were certain things that needed to be created. And so the artist hat answers the question, what needs to be created? And so one of the first things I did is I sat down and I blocked out time to create a whole new onboarding and ramping system for the sales team. The manager hat then answers the question, what needs to be done? And what needs to be done today? And so once I was able to go away and create that, I was able to go and roll it out and implement it and manage that process on a day-to-day basis. Fortunately, I did not understand the value, and I didn't even know that these other two hats existed. And so the owner hat answers the question, what needs to be systemized, what needs to be delegated, and what needs to be planned. The board director hat has a completely different role to especially the first two. The board director hat answers the question, what could go wrong? How do we mitigate risk? And how are we planning against that? And so, to understand this better, these two hats up here, the artist and the manager hat, are almost like the players and the coach of a football team. They are best worn and at their best when they are hyped, pumped, convicted, optimistic, upbeat, vibrating on a high frequency, to be able to have that certainty, that clarity that what we're doing, what we're making, what we're doing today is going to work. And so it's like the players and the coach in the locker room before the game, getting pumped, getting hyped, and going out to go and crush it. The owner and the board director hats have very, very different energies. The owner and board director hats are analytical, they are clinical, they are cool, they are calm, they are collected. Imagine the owner of the football team being in the locker room at halftime, getting all jazzed up and pumped up and slapping ass and throwing fist bumps and high fives in the changing room, in the locker room, and then going out and deciding on whether to invest in the 15 new presidential suites or analyzing the spreadsheets of the season ticket statistics from that year. They're two very, very different energies. And so what was happening was I was only aware of these two hats. I was only aware of them in the first offer that I scaled to $1 million a month and beyond. And I was only aware of them in the first 6 months of building the Nomadic Sales Growth Firm. And so what was happening was I was making, creating, doing, and managing, but I was never designating any time to wearing the owner hat of systemizing, delegating, planning, and I never gave a second thought to what the hell could go wrong with all of this, where are the risks, and what can I do to mitigate those. And so everything that I did and opted for and chose and prioritized was always done in a overly optimistic, confident, and convicted manner. Everything that we decided to pursue, create, and do and manage completely ignored any of the downside. And so it was very, very easy for us to say yes to everything because in our mind, everything was going to work. And unfortunately, that's not the reality. It also meant, and this may be relevant to, or this may drive it home for you, is that because there was no time dedicated to systemizing, delegating, and planning, that we were stuck in a cycle of having to repeatedly do every single day. And because we weren't looking at what was going to go wrong, where the risks were, and what we could do to mitigate those, we were then having to go back to the drawing board and go out and reassess our opportunities, reassess our priorities, go away and make new things, launch new products and launch new offers, try new systems, and then just manage those and stay stuck in a perpetual cycle of this when things didn't quite work out the way we thought they would. And so what needs to happen for you as the business owner, for you as the sales manager, is you need to constantly dedicate time, designate time to wearing the owner hat in your sales team, in your business, and also the board director hat. And what this looks like is answering exactly those questions. What in my day-to-day needs to be systemized, delegated, and automated so that I can allocate more time to the key drivers of the business and of the sales team, and what in their day-to-day needs to be systemized, delegated, automated, or planned to make the team more efficient. This is very different than managing, and once you have decided on these, you will have to go away and create those systems, you will have to go away and delegate those things, you have to go away and plan and automate those things, and then you have to manage that system. But if you don't ever take the time to think these things through, you will be stuck in a perpetual cycle of just trying to optimize for things over here, and you'll never get back your time, and you will never grow the team or the business. And then from the board of directors, when looking at what could go wrong, we want to be constantly asking, in my day-to-day and in my work, what could go wrong? What are the things in the future that are coming up that could go wrong, could derail my work and my input into the team? And the same goes for the sales team. What in their work could possibly go wrong? This could look like, just to give you some concrete example, is what happens if my top guy leaves? What happens? And thinking this through, and if you haven't seen, I've actually got another video, we'll link it in here somewhere, to how to implement the practice of thinking time to think these things through and come up with solutions for them, is to have a plan of action, to understand what can I do, what could go wrong, what are the risks involved in that person leaving, and what can I do to mitigate against that. And in your work, very, very simply put, what happens if I get sick? What happens if I can't work for 4 weeks? And then what are the risks involved in that? How could this happen? And how can I mitigate against that? Which will then go back into, okay, what can I systemize, delegate, and plan so that I can plan against that eventuality? You'll have to go away and create those, and then you have to go away and manage the system. And so as you can see, if you are completely oblivious to these two hats and these two sides of the business, managing, leading, scaling a sales team or a business is incredibly hard. And once you unlock these and you bring these into your consciousness and you actually dedicate and allocate time to wearing these hats, it becomes incredibly easy because things get systemized, planned, delegated, automated, freeing up your time and focusing more time and effort onto things, the key drivers of the business and the team. And you also have less bad shit that happens and you incur less dumb tax. And so, if you like this video, leave it a little like, drop a little comment as to what you took away from this. Make sure that you implement and block out time to wear your owner hat, to wear your board of directors hat on a regular basis. If you didn't like this video, I love you anyways. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.